So this week, I decided to do something a little bit different.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror and he is no friend to me.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the MrEliMac channel, and for a special edition of MrEliMac Rants, where it is very much this video series is dedicated to just talking about whatever I wanted to talk about this week. And I didn't want to do a pitch this video because I didn't feel confident in the video idea that I had for this week, so I decided to put it off for another week and then actually have it a little bit more fully baked. But this week I decided to talk about something that I've really been wanting to think about and talk about for a few weeks at this point, because this week The Penguin has finally ended. We have gotten the finale of The Penguin, and I have to say it is very much echoing what a lot of other people have been saying. This is one of, if not the greatest comic book show to ever be made because of how just great it was. It was filled with intrigue, it was filled with so much emotions, the drama in it, the performances were so delectably delicious. And not only that, it found a way to be a comic book show, but also be a crime thriller. It was able to be more than just, oh, this is just another comic book show that exists. And after the release of the show, with it very fully establishing, oh, the Penguin is very much a villain in the show. He is not an anti-hero. He is a villainous character. He is an unlikable character. In fact, he is a delusional character. With that very much being the thesis of the show, it got me thinking about the universe of the Batman Epic Crime Saga. Like that entire story that Matt Reeves is telling that started in The Batman, continued in The Penguin, is about to continue in The Batman Chapter 2. I did legitimately start to wonder if this is the best version of Batman. And I'm not just talking about Batman the character, I'm talking about just the universe as a whole. And I know we've only gotten 2 different installments of the universe, but already with just these 2 installments, I feel like this version of Gotham and this version of Batman's universe is the most fleshed out version of the Batman universe, or of a Batman universe, than any other version that has been adapted to live action. Like the Burtonverse very much felt villain focus. It very much felt like, oh, we're gonna be talking about the villains and focusing on the villains more than Batman or anything else in this universe. We're not gonna be talking about any other environment in the universe. We're just gonna be focusing on Jack Napier. He's the Joker, and he's basically the lead character, but Batman is very important to it as well. And then you go into Batman Returns, where it very much feels like Penguin and Catwoman have more to do and have more of an arc than Batman does. And while I do enjoy those movies, it is very noticeable that the villains of those movies feel more primary than secondary. And no matter how much I talk about how much I love The Dark Knight, it is very noticeable there. Though Bruce Wayne, Batman, has an arc in it, everyone, when they finish The Dark Knight and they think about The Dark Knight, they think about Joker in that film. Everyone looked at the Joker and talks about how much he shined, and it's very much due to Heath Ledger's performance. But when it comes to this version of Batman's universe, I really do feel like not only has it fleshed out Batman and given him sort of an arc from, even in the Batman, he had an arc from, no, I'm doing it this way, I am vengeance, to by the end of the film realizing I can't be vengeance anymore. Especially with one of Riddler's people going, I am vengeance, and him realizing, oh, that's what I was saying, I can't do that anymore, and him having that arc. And then going away from that, you have Catwoman, who is very much, feels more like a character in this film than she did in The Dark Knight Rises. In The Dark Knight Rises, she felt very much like, oh yes, I'm existing, I very much am going to be living in the world that Bane has created, but also, ultimately, when it comes to necessary means, I'm going to help Batman. Whereas in the Batman movie, she felt like, oh no, I'm going through these motions because I am having to progress and learn about my father, who is Carmine Falcone. I really do feel like the Batman universe has done a lot of great things with a lot of these characters, and it just got me wondering if this is the best version of this Gotham universe that we've ever gotten. Like, when you look at the comics and how rich and the tapestry that the comics have with Gotham and how important every single character is in that universe, even the villains are very important to the universe and to Gotham. I feel like we never had that much of a similarity because a majority of the villains in the movies get killed off. They never get to continue onto their journey. We never get to see their story continue. But with this universe that we're currently living in, with Robert Pattinson's Batman, Colin Farrell's Penguin, Paul Dano's Riddler, Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, and Barry Keoghan's Joker, I just feel like this universe is being more fleshed out. I can legitimately see these characters continuing on because the major antagonistic characters that are still alive are the ones that should still be alive. Like, the comic book colorful characters are the ones that are still alive, and they get put away. The ones that are dead, for lack of a better term, are the ones that are the gangsters, like Carmine Falcone, Sal Maroni, Johnny Vitti. Spoilers, by the way, for the Penguin show. Just a lot of these characters that really only appear in the early years of Batman, they are gone by the end of the Penguin. And I want to just talk about the Penguin show for a second, because I think the Penguin series is the thing that helped flesh out this universe a lot, because whenever we see a Batman movie or a Batman series of films, we don't really get to explore the criminal element a lot. We really just get a hint of what is happening in that area of Batman's universe, whereas in the comics it is fleshed out. We know where everyone is, especially when you read Long Halloween. You know who all the mobsters are, you know where they are ranked in the pecking order of the organized crime, and you are able to see how they were able to fall. And we never have really gotten that in any other medium. But now in this Batman Epic Crime Saga, we know all the important characters. We knew where Carmine Falcone ranked on the pecking order. We knew where Johnny Vitti and Milos Grappa and Luca Falcone were. We knew where Sal Maroni were. We know about his thing. And now we know exactly where Sofia Gigante is ranked in the pecking order, and now we see the continuation of Colin Farrell's Oswald Cobb and his Penguin. I just find it so fascinating that this universe, with only 2 entries in its entire story, has been able to go, hey, this is the most fleshed out version of this universe you're gonna get. And while I'm excited to see what James Gunn's universe version of Batman's going to be, I am just so interested in the direction that the Batman crime saga is going to go next. Because by the end of the Penguin, we saw Oswald getting ingratiated in the political side of Gotham with Councilman Haiti and Bella Real not fully being connected to him, but you're getting the idea of, oh, Oz is going to all of these different functions that a lot of elected officials are creating, and we're going to be seeing his continued journey going up and up and up, further than just, oh, I'm the king of the mountain in terms of Gotham, in terms of crime. I'm now going to start ingratiating myself with more of the wealthy. In fact, I could see Oswald Cobb start creating a new version of the Iceberg Lounge, where it's more of a jazz club like Monroe's, like when he was a kid, and I could see him creating more stuff for himself as a more philanthropist type character, being able to have meetings with Bruce Wayne as Oswald Cobb, and having Bruce being like, oh, I know exactly the type of person you are, you're not this person, and Oz being like, no, I'm legitimate, you don't have to worry about me. I'm so fascinated to see where this universe is going to go, and I'm so fascinated to see how much it will continue to grow. Recently, in an interview, Colin Farrell said, oh, if they would want to do a season 2 of The Penguin, it would all depend on the story. And I personally would love to see what a season 2 of The Penguin would look like. Just continuing to build out the criminal underworld. In fact, something that I found fascinating was there was supposed to be a Gotham City Police Department show. And from what I've read from Matt Reeves, a lot of the elements from that show was put into the Penguin, so we really don't need to see that show anymore. But I would personally, if they were to do it again, if they were to be like, oh, we're retooling it now, I would love to see what a Gotham City Police Department show would be here, with Commissioner Gordon being the lead character, or by this point, Captain Gordon, having him be the lead character and see what he has to go through being a member of the police department. Also, they were workshopping an Arkham series. Now, I don't think an Arkham series would be great because I don't know what that would be like, but I could very much see this universe creating so many of these popular characters. Like, for me, I've always had an idea on how to make the Mad Hatter a very realistic and scary character in the Batman universe, and I would think that with how much expanse and how much this universe is growing, I could legitimately see a character like the Mad Hatter exist in this universe. I could see characters like Two-Face, like Mad Hatter, like the Joker, like so many of these characters that could be adapted into this universe. I could see them in this universe. Like, some of the more fantastical characters like Clayface and Mr. Freeze, those are the ones that are a little bit harder, but I would love to see how they would do these characters. But yeah, I am very fascinated by this universe, and as of right now, I do think this is the best version of a live-action Batman universe that we have gotten. And look, to all the people who love Gotham, I watched like the first season and a bit of the second season, and it just wasn't for me. I wasn't a fan of that universe. The most I liked about that show was their Penguin, and that was it. Everything else, it didn't feel like it delivered on the promise that it gave, and so that's why I don't put that as one of the best live action interpretations of Batman's universe. But as of right now, after finishing the Penguin, I do think that the Batman Epic Crime Saga is the best take of a live action Batman universe. But what are your thoughts on this universe, and what were your thoughts on the Penguin? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or were you indifferent to the show? I would love to hear your thoughts on the Penguin, and I would love to hear your thoughts on where you think the Batman Epic Crime Saga could go next, because I'm fascinated where this universe will go next, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So whatever your thoughts, post them in the comments down below. And again, I promise next week I will have a new Pitch This video ready for you. I just wasn't fully ready for this upcoming one to come out this week. But until then, I've been Mr. EliMac. You have been the audience, and I hope you all remember to have a great rest of the day.